Now on CoastTV News.
Houseboats banned in Ocean City. The town council taking the final step after weeks of controversy.
The Milford School District responds to concerns about a school policy, how censorship concerns are being addressed.
No warning, Ocean City changing the fine structure for businesses on the boardwalk, and now a first offense is going to cost you.
Off the hook, Maryland Governor Wes Moore pardoning tens of thousands of people with marijuana convictions.
And we are expecting higher heat and humidity as we get ready to bring in summer with a scorching sun and triple-digit heat indices.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Let's take a live look outside into the Ocean City area. Gorgeous night. What you can't tell there is just how warm it is. Good evening. I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Mallory Metzner. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight with the weather and specifically those scorching temperatures on the way or that you might have felt today.
Yeah, and our first alert, Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams, he has the latest details.
Well, the bottom line here is that we are awaiting the start of summer, and with that will come typically warm weather anyway. But we're going to start off with a serious bang because we're watching out for the heat index to climb to triple digits by the end of this work week, if not slightly below that before that. 87 for the high in Georgetown and in Salisbury, 79 in Ocean City. So we got to go over some vernacular because we're going to be using this a lot this week. Excessive heat advisory. That means the heat index is going to be 100. And for actually 2 days in a row. If you hear us talking about an excessive heat watch, that means the heat event is going to be 24 to 72 hours away, and we're looking for the heat index to stay between 100 and 104. And then excessive heat warning is when it's higher than 105, and we're expecting it within the next 12 hours. All three of these are in play for this week, particularly by the time we get to Thursday. You see, we have the excessive heat warnings in portions of the Ohio Valley region, and for the Northeast in general, a heat advisory. But specifically, we actually have a heat watch, which is a step above the advisory. That's already in effect for us in Newcastle. So you can see we're in the general mix of that kind of hot air. And so we're going to keep you updated on all of our platforms, especially our telephone line, which you can call at 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Coming up, we'll go into even more detail of what to expect. But for right now, back to you, Mal.
Thank you, Paul. New tonight, the Milford School District is responding to critics of one of its proposed school policies and making some revisions. According to the ACLU, the policy would require school staff to ensure all learning environments are free from content, items, or conduct that could create, quote, intimidating, hostile, or offensive educational environments. The school board says it's taking out the word conduct to remove the stipulation that the policy would limit teachers. While the ACLU executive director worries the policy is vague and could allow students to veto each other's beliefs, the school board says the policy is not an attempt at censoring teaching.
It would also then require teachers to present those multiple viewpoints on anything that might be termed as offensive or controversial, even if those viewpoints don't necessarily have a place in the educational setting.
We want to elevate all students and help them to think critically, which often involves allowing them the opportunity to be presented with alternative points of view and then allowing them to reason for themselves.
The school board voted to table this policy as well as another policy for school dress code to its July 15th meeting.
And this brings us right into our CoastTV poll. We want to know, should schools allow the discussion of controversial and sensitive topics in their classrooms?
Let's take a look at the updated results from earlier tonight. On your screen here, it looks like 51% saying yes, 34% say maybe, but with some more guidelines, 15% say no.
And you know what? That's the highest the no group has been all night, so it has changed a little bit. If you haven't voted yet and you want to be a part of this, go to coasttv.com or use the CoastTV mobile app. New at 11, this is a story that we've been following now for weeks. The town of Ocean City and the company Sea Rocket at odds over houseboat rentals in the area. And tonight, the next move in the saga has been played. Tonight, the second reading of an ordinance that bans houseboats, and that ban goes into effect immediately. Some of you have been following this, but for those who have not, Sea Rocket, who's known for boat rides, parasailing, and other things, was looking to add houseboats for people to rent. But the town of Ocean City thinks Having these houseboats could overcrowd their marina and create other safety issues. Sea Rocket CEO Will Wangle has told Coast TV throughout this process that if the town went through with this ban, he would look to pursue legal action. Now, it has passed, and we're going to be keeping an eye to see just what kind of, if any, legal action might be taken.
Also tonight at the Ocean City Town Council meeting, one of the issues on the agenda was supposed to go through its first reading. It has to do with fines on the boardwalk. And because the council wants to get the new changes in place right away, it was deemed an emergency ordinance, removing the need for a second reading. So what does this ordinance do? Well, already shops on the boardwalk have to follow a set of rules given by the Ocean City Council. That includes how far out onto the boardwalk a business can put their merchandise, and even what types of items can be displayed. That part won't change. Here's what will. Previously, the first violation was a verbal warning. This new rule makes a first offense a $500 fine. Although, and this is important, officers do have discretion on this and can issue a written warning.
Happening right now, state police are still investigating a murder that happened in Ellendale last week, and new tonight, we now know that it was a teenage girl who was killed. Troopers say they responded to a shooting in the 12,000 block of North Old State Road on June 9th. Police say 17-year-old Anaya Coverdale of Harrington was shot and later died at the hospital. This all happened after the agency says a fight broke out at the community center. Detectives are urging anybody that has information to contact Delaware State Police or Delaware Crime Stoppers.
New tonight, lying. That's what gubernatorial candidate Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer has said his fellow candidate and current Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long is doing. The accusation comes after her campaign reported to have accepted donations that exceed the amount that is allowed by the Delaware campaign law. Meyer saying, quote, when Bethany Hall Long assured Delawareans that she had taken a good hard look at her campaign accounting, she was lying, unquote. All of this is related to Hall Long's campaign finance history, which has been heavily scrutinized over the past year. We have a more detailed breakdown of that on CoastTV.com. As for a response from her campaign, Coast TV has reached out but has yet to hear back.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore signed a sweeping executive order today pardoning more than 175,000 marijuana convictions. According to the governor's office, the pardons include more than 150,000 misdemeanor convictions for simple possession of cannabis and more than 18,000 misdemeanor convictions for use or possession with intent to use drug paraphernalia. In a press call Monday morning, the governor's office said an estimated 100,000 individuals will be affected by the pardons.
We cannot celebrate the benefits of legalization if we do not address the consequences of criminalization.
The governor's office said that the executive order makes Maryland the first U.S. state to issue mass pardons on cannabis paraphernalia-related convictions. However, a pardon is not an expungement, and individuals will need to file for expungement if that's what they're looking for.
Fresh off a weekend of campaign events, President Biden and presumptive GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump are turning up the heat on the campaign trail.
President Biden taking an aggressive approach in a new campaign ad while Trump seeks to shore up his grip on the GOP. NBC's Bree Jackson has the details.
The race for the White House intensifying. President Biden's campaign taking direct aim at former President Trump, putting Trump's legal woes front and center, and this new $50 million ad blitz.
This election is between a convicted criminal who's only out for himself.
The campaign push comes as the presumptive GOP nominee seeks to further solidify support within his party, meeting with House Speaker Mike Johnson at Mar-a-Lago.
This is probably much more about making sure that they do hold their majority and where they can use Donald Trump as an asset.
Trump hammering home his message on immigration over the weekend while courting black voters in battleground Michigan.
They're coming into your community and they're taking your job.
While President Biden drew in over $30 million during a star-studded fundraiser and warning what's at stake this November.
The next president is likely to have 2 new Supreme Court nominees. 2 more.
Next week marks 2 years since the High Court overturned Roe v. Wade, an issue Democrats are counting on to mobilize voters.
If you care about reproductive rights, if you care about workers' rights, if you care about making sure that we have communities that are safe and free from gun violence,
Americans will have the opportunity to see the contrast for themselves when the 2 presidential candidates face off in the first debate next week. In Washington,
both President Biden and former President Trump are hitting the campaign trail this week. Tuesday, Trump holds an event in another battleground state, Wisconsin. President Biden will host a campaign reception in Virginia.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved the 6-member war cabinet today in a widely expected move that came after one of his key rivals, the centrist former General Benny Gantz, quit the emergency government last week. According to an official, the Prime Minister will hold sensitive consultations in a smaller forum dubbed the Kitchen Cabinet. Gantz and his partner left the government over what they said was Netanyahu's failure to form a strategy for the war now that it's in its 8th month. We have more news to get into this evening.
Why Denmark says mosquito control is needed and ways you can help from home.
Plus, how people in Sussex County are preparing to endure a very hot week ahead.
And speaking of that week ahead, it's going to be real hot. We're going to talk about that. But take a look at how hot it's going to get in Cambridge. From 86 up to 88 on Thursday, which is the first day of summer. But we're going to do a straight 84 across the board for us in Crisfield. But it won't feel that way. Each day it's going to get warmer and warmer. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
With this open floor plan, I can really stretch my hamstrings. Feel the burn, Hammy. I could really go for a snack right now. No! Keep exploring. One small step for man, one giant roll for Hammy. So many bedrooms. Never skip leg day. With all this room to run, I feel like the belle of the ball. Hammy is on a roll. Summer body, here I come.
Basically, we are expecting for it to become hot, stay hot, and become even hotter by the time we get to the weekend. Our Rehoboth Beach camera right now at Boardwalk Plaza, we're at 73 degrees right now. We're going to drop down to 70 with partly cloudy skies. A few clouds will begin to stream into the area by the early morning hours. Here's where the temperatures lie right now. We're well into the 70s, 73, Milford, Lewis, Rehoboth, Indian River Inlet, as well as Bethany Beach. Now, our high for today was 87 degrees with our normal high of about 84, but we're getting a little bit closer to the record high. And listen, by the end of the week, we're going to be really close to some record highs, if not tying them or if not surpassing them in some cases. I mean, when you take a look at our day part, we're expecting for the temperatures to move into the mid 80s. Now, high of 87 in Georgetown and in Salisbury, high of 86 in Easton, as well as Cambridge, and 79 for the high actually in Ocean City. So in our Tidal Health camera in Salisbury, we're at 69 degrees, a little bit cooler there, and 60. We're going to stay in the upper 60s for the rest of the night. Excessive heat watch in effect for Newcastle. Not exactly us, but it's in the general vicinity. We have a small craft advisory active throughout the Chesapeake Bay area as well, by the way. Generally, the entire Northeast under a heat advisory. So we see that heat spreading throughout the entire Northeast, and we're part of that. And the air quality is tanking as well a little bit. Green means it's really good. Yellow, moderate. So we're starting to see some moderate punches down here towards the Salisbury area and throughout portions of Maryland. Now, we are about 5 to 6 degrees warmer than we were just yesterday, and we're going to see that continue to be the case as temperatures will start off in the 70s and will continue to climb quickly for us throughout the rest of the week. So, breaking this down, we're looking for 90 for the high tomorrow in Seaford and Laurel. That's just the start of this. 90 in Federalsburg and Easton, and winds are out of the south, and we're looking for 87 for the high in Salisbury and Princess Anne. Now, We're looking for 94 for the heat index on Tuesday in Ellendale. Then we'll go to the 80s, but then we go right back to the 90s on Thursday. Friday, we're at the mid-90s. And then Saturday, we bust 100 for the heat index. Ellendale, Georgetown, Millsboro, Seaford, and 101 in Delmar and Salisbury. So, yeah, that concern for heat, we're giving you an early jump on this so you can get yourself ready with plenty of water and check your air conditioning unit, right? The Muggy meter is saying we're going to be escalating big time after the first day of summer, which is on Thursday. Take a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling extended forecast. And we're looking for 88 on Thursday at the very least. And then we will go into the 90s and stay there.
Thank you, Paul. As he just walked us through, the sun feels like it's shining a little extra bright this week as a heat wave is upon us.
People in Georgetown were stocking up on water, ice packs, and sunscreen to prepare for the intense temperatures. Another local in Seaford was out shopping for the homeless.
We got to think of the homeless right now because it is hot and we can get out of the heat, but they can't.
The American Red Cross tells people to stay hydrated during heat waves by avoiding sugary, caffeinated, and alcoholic drinks. Also, if you're sweating a lot, combine water with snacks or a sports drink. That helps you replace the salt and the minerals that you lose in your sweat.
In regional news and new at 11, Delaware State Police is looking for witnesses to a shooting that happened Sunday night in Dover. The agency says it happened on Palmer Road around 11:20 p.m. A 36-year-old man was found shot. According to troopers, the man sustained a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to the thigh while he was out for a walk. It's not clear yet where the shooter fired the gun from. Anyone with information should contact Delaware State Police or Delaware Crime Stoppers.
If you're wondering just how healthy you are, there's a great opportunity to find out in Salisbury later this week. Tidal Health's Health Fest will be hosted at the Salisbury Fire Department headquarters. That's at 325 Cypress Street. Meet healthcare providers, take free health screenings, tour interactive exhibits, and learn from educational workshops. You can also learn to juggle and get fitted and even keep a free bicycle helmet while supplies last. This is all happening Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon. Still to come, on the road to economic recovery, why sales of RVs have a correlation with how the nation's doing.
And next, the grandmother of Juneteenth, her incredible story and her message for the future.
Dream big during Johnny Janosik's Independence Day mattress sale. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus a $300 gift card and free next day local delivery. Going on now at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World.
Got a plumbing problem that can't wait? Then why would you? At FH Fur, we know how frustrating it is to be stuck waiting for help, which is why we offer same-day service guaranteed. Whether it's a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, a broken pipe, you name it, the expert plumbers at FH Fur are standing by and ready to get you out of hot water. Or maybe into some hot water, if that's your issue. Same-day service guaranteed, regardless of your plumbing predicament.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Join us for the June 10 event going on right now at Preston Ford. When the tent goes up, the prices come down. We have a wide selection of over 900 Ford models available for immediate purchase. During this sales event, you can save over $8,000 off the MSRP of select 2024 Ford F-150s. Shop with us online at PrestonFord.com and we'll deliver it to your driveway today. Find your dream car during the June 10 event at Preston Ford. Remember, cars cost less in Preston.
Dream big during Johnny Janosik's Independence Day mattress sale. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus a $300 gift card and free next day local delivery. Going on now at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World.
Delmarva's Classic Rock, Big 107.7.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
In just 2 days, Miss Opal Lee, also known as the grandmother of Juneteenth, will take her annual 2.5-mile walk. But her journey began some 85 years ago. Her parents moved the family from Marshall, Texas to Fort Worth into a home in a white neighborhood. On June 19th, 1939, a crowd of 500 people gathered across the street from the Lee's home. Lee says her dad came out with a gun and police told him if he fired it, they would let the mob after him.
Our parents sent us to friends several blocks away. They left under cover of darkness. Those people tore that place asunder. They drug the furniture out and burned it. They did despicable things. But our parents never, ever discussed it with us.
Ms. Opal says she wants people who hear her story to know that if people can be taught to hate, they can be taught to love. Dr. Lee went on to advocate for Juneteenth to become a federal holiday, which started in 2016. She achieved her goal in 2021 when President Joe Biden did declare it a nationally recognized holiday.
And sticking with Juneteenth, the National Park Service is waiving entry fees at all national parks on Wednesday. That includes all of the national parks here on Delmarva. However, and don't get burned on this one, while entry will be free, fees will remain in effect for parking and activities like camping and fishing. Also, parks operated in partnership with outside parties may charge other fees.
In business news, are you interested in buying a recreational vehicle or an RV? Well, it looks like a lot of people are, which could be good news for the economy. The RV Industry Association is reporting that shipments for the high-ticket items are moving up for the year. Those orders are based on projected sales, and in the past, RV sales have correlated with both recessions and booms. That's because there's such a big-ticket luxury purchase. People buying, they don't usually buy them unless they feel pretty good about how things are going. If the industry is right and sales do improve, it could be a sign consumers have disposable income. That would correlate with expectations that the Federal Reserve might start lowering interest rates this year.
Boeing's chief executive officer is set to testify before Congress. Dave Calhoun will appear before a Senate subcommittee on Tuesday. Calhoun will address whistleblower complaints about the company's safety culture. This will be his first appearance before Congress since January's incident when a door plug blew off the side of a MAX 737 jet in mid-flight. In his prepared remarks, Calhoun is expected to tell Senate members while the safety culture is far from perfect, it is moving in the right direction.
Coming up in sports, a thriller between the Royals from Delmarva Christian and the Hilltoppers of Snow Hill in Maryland's Supreme Summer League basketball.
Also, health in the heat. We've already talked about some of the dangers, but this one might surprise you.
And it looks like you're going to be golfing in the heat as well. Now, as you line up your putt, it's going to be really bright out on the course and on the greens, but it's going to also be quite warm, so take some extra water.
The Today Show, weekdays at 7 on CoastTV.
Hi, I'm Sussex County farmer Blaine Hitchens, and I plant cover crops to improve my soil health. Cover crops help with nutrient cycling, weed suppression, and also reducing our input costs. I'm also improving water quality and my soils are more productive, increasing my yield and bottom line. Healthy soils produce healthy crops. Cost share signups are going on now. To take advantage of the financial assistance, stop by the Conservation District to enroll in the Cover Crop Cost Share program because every acre counts.
Jeeps cost less at Preston during the Make This the Summer event at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Save $16,000 off MSRP on a new 2023 Jeep Gladiator Freedom 4x4. Or lease a new 2024 Jeep Compass Limited for just $399 a month. See our selection of hundreds of Jeeps online at millsborocdjr.com. Get your dream vehicle during the Make This the Summer event right here at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Jeeps cost less with Preston.
Summer means Beat the Peak season for Delaware Electric Cooperative members. Our co-op issues Beat the Peak alerts when the cost of energy is highest. During peak alerts, we ask members to voluntarily conserve energy, lowering our overall cost for power. Download our Beat the Peak app to receive alerts when it's time to save. If you own a programmable thermostat or electric vehicle, you could also receive billing credits when you conserve. DEC's rates are the lowest in the region. Beat the peak and help us keep energy costs affordable.
Have you visited Tyndall's Casual Furniture this season?
Come see us!
Why shop online when you can explore Delmarva's exclusive Pollywood dealer in person? See the finishes, feel the fabrics, and even sit on the furniture. From polymer to aluminum, wicker and epay, bring home the perfect blend of quality and design with Tyndall's. Crafted to enhance your lifestyle. All of our furniture comes with professional assembly, and take advantage of our in-house white glove delivery. Tyndall's Casual Furniture, Delmarva's outdoor furniture experts.
Hi, it's Peter from McQueen's, and on the last episode we defined what a classic car was, 1994 and below. Now we're going to define 95 to 2024 model year. We need those cars as well. Rare cars, exotic cars, supercars, low mileage cars. If you want to get rid of those, give us a call. We'll come get them. Seriously, we'll come get them. It's time for the ride of your dreams from McQueen's.
In Rehoboth Beach, the city says 5 candidates have filed nominating petitions to be on the ballot for 2 Board of Commissioners seats up for election this summer. Commissioners will judge the qualifications of the candidates at their June 21st meeting. To learn more about the candidates ahead of the election in August, the Homeowners Association will host a candidate forum at 10 a.m. Saturday, July 20th at the Rehoboth Beach Volunteer Fire Company. The deadline to register to vote in this election is 4:30 p.m. on July 11th.
Here's a number for you. Around 25 million people in the United States have asthma, and this time of year, thunderstorms and summer weather can make those symptoms worse.
In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the impact severe weather can have on asthma sufferers and ways to avoid being breathless this summer.
Spring and fall get a lot of flack for worsening symptoms of asthma, but summer causes concerns too, especially with stormy weather.
The humidity and wind associated with the thunderstorms break those pollens into very, very small particles that can be aerosolized very easily.
Dr. Laurie Manka with National Jewish Health says research shows asthma sufferers are at increased risk of needing to go to the emergency room during severe weather, but these patients can protect themselves.
One, I think if somebody has asthma, trying to really do some reflection about what seems to be the triggers. Is it driven by allergy? Do you have associated allergic rhinitis or inflammation of the sinuses related to allergy?
If allergies trigger asthma, reduce exposure by staying indoors in times of high pollen. Take allergy or asthma medicine as prescribed. Avoid touching your eyes. Shower and change clothes after being outdoors to remove pollen, and keep windows closed. Manka says to also frequently check forecasts.
Knowing where to find pollen counts, air quality index reports in your area to see what it's like outside, before you go outside.
Manka says to go over best treatment options with your doctor and formulate a plan on what to do if symptoms increase. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. It's week 3 of high school basketball action in the Maryland Supreme Summer League. Let's send it out to Luke Mealy for a recap of one of tonight's matchups.
And we had a thriller here to end the night. Let's get right into it. The Hilltoppers from Snow Hill, the Royals from Delmarva Christian, and it did not quite look like a thriller early on. So at the end of the first half, it was 29-9. The Hilltoppers were out ahead. There was no debate that they were going to roll in this game. But then Malachi Light started to heat up. The layup in transition, then the three-pointer. But that wouldn't be the only 3 Malachi Light would hit. The Hilltoppers would come right back, trying to provide some of their own. Marlon Milborn from the outside. But then here's Light again, walking his defender down into another triple. Now it's at 9. DJ Lyles throws one in off the rim. It's a 7-point game.
Light attracted so much attention that Snow Hill just focused on him, and then his teammates were able to step up, and before you know it, we had a ball game.
Seth Mifflin had 0 points until that 3, then a steal and layup. He's got 5, and then a wild sequence. Ball is loose. It finds its way to Mifflin. He scores 7 in a row. It's tied at 37 after being a 20-point game at the half, but then the Hilltoppers showed why they were undefeated coming into this ball game, and one for Fox Birch. Then everything started to fall. Jaden Bulware, his only bucket of the night, a big one at that point. And then the Hilltoppers defense just started to show. A 50-45 win for the Hilltoppers.
That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Did you know that this week is National Mosquito Control Awareness Week? We saw a bunch of them today when we were outside. To raise awareness, DNREC has shared some tips on how you can help control the mosquito problem this summer. DNREC says it's important to empty any standing water and repair holes in doors or window screens that stops them from getting inside. The agency says control is important because it helps to stop mosquito-borne diseases, things like Zika virus and West Nile.
Spreading Wings of Hope. We'll tell you all about this annual event that's returning to Milton Memorial Park.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
Kickstart your summer with Gateway Subaru, where they have more in-stock Subaru inventory to choose from than other dealers have combined. Get ready for adventure with a 2024 Subaru Outback or Subaru Forester with financing as low as 0.9%. Need more space? Go big with the 2024 Subaru Ascent with financing as low as 2.9%. Electrify your journey in a new 2024 Subaru Solterra with financing as low as 0%. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
Rules don't apply when it comes to designing your home or business's interior. At Mood Design Studio, we break away from typical design norms to craft one-of-a-kind spaces that belong on the pages of a magazine. Choose from a bold selection of exclusive wallpaper designs and fabrics, plus a curated selection of furniture, making any room a showstopper. Need guidance? We'll assist you in planning your space's scope and budget for a streamlined, stress-free experience. For a complimentary consultation, visit Mood Design Studio in Lewis today.
Coverage on the road, in your community, along the coast. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, coverage you can count on.
Not everyone wants a big funeral. For those seeking a simple alternative, the Eastern Shore's most trusted family and funeral service offers another option. Eastern Shore Cremation and Funeral Service is simple and affordable. A direct cremation tribute starts at just $15.95, or choose to have a small visitation service, serving Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia with easy consultation by phone and streamlined electronic documentation. Learn more at easternshorecremation.com. Eastern Shore Cremation and Funeral Services. Simply respectful.
You've come a long way, Peninsula Bath. Sure has been fun.
Are you the bath guy? Can you take out the trash?
Do you do lawns?
Listen, Linda, listen.
You should have called Peninsula Bath.
Khakis?
Share with us your favorite Linda memory, and you'll get 2024 off your next bathroom remodel with Peninsula Bath.
Mercy, that's a great deal.
Thank you, Delmarva, for a great year.
On Coast Life, check out unparalleled scenery, great eats, and tasty drinks at the most unique spot in Ocean City. Plus, discover free summer activities and join the great debate, are dating apps dead? Tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
Wings of Hope will flutter through Milton Memorial Park on Saturday. This annual fundraiser supports programs of Cancer Support Community Delaware in Sussex County. Butterflies will be released to symbolize lives lost to cancer. I'll be at this event again as the MC this year. It takes place from 9 a.m. to noon. The unique celebration of life is in its 14th year. It's held for everyone in the community who has been touched by cancer.
A definite worthwhile event. Okay, so our excessive heat watch is in effect for Newcastle County. Now, that's not Kent or Sussex, and I understand that, but it communicates it very clearly that we're within the realm of that kind of heat and humidity. So keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line at 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by Baird, Mandales, Brockstead, and Federico. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling exclusive 10-day forecast. So we have Juneteenth on Wednesday, 85 degrees there, but the first day of summer expected to go up to 88 degrees, feeling more like, 95 to be quite honest. And after that, when we clock these 90s here, don't be surprised if it starts feeling a whole lot like 100. And so we may actually be under one of those heat advisories that we talked about a little bit earlier in the newscast.
We appreciate that. We are going to go ahead and get out of here tonight. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.